It's time to start Dishin Days with your hosts, Tony Moore, Michael Mattis, Justin Lee Hareld, and Araceli Aviles. And now, let's dish. Why, hello, all you Days of Our Lives fans. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we are serving up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. If you haven't already, make sure you like us and follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you are watching us live and in living color and you have not hit that subscribe button, shame on you, because you are missing out. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button and that bell notification. That way you'll never miss when we're going live or when we've uploaded some great content from some of your favorite stars of days. You don't want to miss that. Now, if you really want to be a part of our exclusive members only page, you can join that too. Go ahead and hit the join button and you can next month join us in our virtual event that we have monthly.
Bi-monthly.
Every other month.
Bi-monthly.
Every other
Oh,
month.
it's bi-monthly. So then it's not next month. Join us. And we will dive deeper into all things Days of Our Lives. Trust me, it is a key. So you definitely don't want to miss that. Plus, other great things and contents that comes with being an exclusive member. So join us. Now, if you can't watch us live and you want to listen to us, or maybe you just don't like seeing our faces, that's on you, though. You can listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Take us along while you're sitting in traffic or maybe working out in the garden or dipping your toes in the sand on the beach. You can listen to what has happened this week on Days of Our Lives, brought to you by the fine folks here at Dishin Days. And when you can't get enough soaps, there's always more. Our former co-host and my chocolate twin, Mr. James Lott Jr., is serving up a couple of forks, knives, and spoons of his own. Go check out JLJ Media on YouTube and where all podcasts can be found to get your soap opera fix and a recap of General Hospital, Young and the Restless, Bold and the Beautiful, and The Young and the Restless, brought to you by James Lott Jr. and his crew over at JLJ Media. And if you go over there, tell them that the fine folks here at Dishin Days sent you, because you don't want to miss out. Oh, all right. Hi, everybody.
Hey.
We're here on this very hot Sunday.
Yeah.
When I tell you this AC is blasting, I'm trying not to melt.
I don't feel it until I take Bimby out.
Yeah.
And then I'm out. I go out and like this. And I'm like, oh, damn.
Yeah. It's a hot
Because
one.
then I don't get a lot of sunlight, so it doesn't heat up. But
Well, you are a creature of the night.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
ready with the shadows of the night.
Speaking of shadows of the night, what do we think about days this week?
That's right.
It was an interesting week.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Wasn't
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. We got a lot of mix of storyline.
Yeah, very
One thing
mixed.
dominated.
I have mixed emotions.
Yeah, some things happened that I didn't expect were going to happen this week.
Mhm.
And then, of course, like my favorite episode was Thursday because like I felt like everything was going down on Thursday. And then I was like, oh, wow, that was great. And then there was one more episode and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, there we go. All right. So this week was pretty good.
Yeah.
Hi, Mom. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, Mom.
As she always does. Well, listen, we have been super excited to have our guest that we have coming on today. She has resurrected a very beloved character that has been missing from Salem for the past 15 years. And let me tell you, she has woken up and she got something to say. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help us welcome to Dishin Days the very talented, the very beautiful, the very amazing
Yes.
NIkki Crawford, everybody. Yay!
Hi, you all.
Hi, NIkki. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you so much for having me.
You know what? Thank you for being here because for the longest time, we were worried because Lexi was just laying there in that pod. Everybody was just talking to her. And I was just like, now at some point, is she gonna open her eyes and let us know what's going on? But
Right.
finally she has. So thank you. So thank you so much for being here,
Yeah.
and thank you so much for filling the shoes of this role. But before we get into that, we always love for our fans to really get to know the person behind the character. And you have had a very successful career, not only in television but also in theater. And you are Tony nominated. Hello.
Yes.
How did it feel to be Tony nominated, like for your work on Broadway for Fat Ham? Like, I feel like that's every theater kid's dream, to be nominated. Like, how did it feel to get nominated for a Tony?
Oh, it was incredible.
Yeah.
God, it was a dream come true. We were at the Public Theater before we went to Broadway, and it was a big hit there. And James Imes, who wrote the piece, he won the Pulitzer Prize. So initially we were just coming in as this new play at the Public. And then I think the first week and a half of rehearsals, we found that James won the Pulitzer. So all of New York was like,
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh my God, I'm playing the female lead. It's a comedic urbanized reinvention of Hamlet. So I'm playing the Gertrude character. Brilliant piece, brilliant cast. And so we extended 4 times, and we found out before we were, when we were closing at the Public, that we were going to Broadway like 5 months later. So, my first time on Broadway. And even though I had done a ton of theater before that, I didn't expect all of that, but people really resonated with the play, with the characters, my character, and I didn't even watch it that morning when they announced it. I wasn't gonna watch. Everybody was like, "You're gonna be nominated." I was like, "Okay, whatever," And my manager calls me from Los Angeles, and I told her, I said, "Susan, I told you not to call me. I don't want," and then I hear her screaming. And I'm like,
Oh my.
It's like, it's happening.
And I said, I said, make sure it was my name. That you couldn't get it. I said, you sure they said NIkki Crawford? So yeah, it was fantastic. So
that's and you know what? So as I was looking up information about you, being nosy, and I realized Fat Ham was here at the Geffen in LA, right?
Yes.
I actually saw it while it was here at the Geffen, and I was like, wait a minute. That was NIkki?
Yeah.
I thought it was so funny and it was so fun, and I had heard so much about it. And I missed it while it was on Broadway, but when it came to LA, I looked at my friend, I was like, we have to go see this. And when I tell you we laughed and kikied that whole entire time, I was like, now this is how I want to learn Shakespeare.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. We reprised our roles from Broadway and came out and did it in LA a couple of years ago. So
Yeah,
that was great. Yeah.
How did, speaking like doing it in New York and doing it in Los Angeles, just a question. The audiences in New York versus audiences in Los Angeles, because you hear things from artists, from performers that, Los Angeles can be maybe a little standoffish, or
yes. That's a great question. And that's very true. They're also less savvy. They're not really theater goers out here. I mean, that's just God's honest truth. In New York, everybody goes to the theater, whether it be off Broadway or Broadway. So they understand theater a lot more. Whereas here they didn't. And at first there was, it was like, oh, okay, is this what it's going to be like? And then I think within maybe the second week of previews, I think before we opened, it was like explosive. Everybody knew, you know what I mean? That they knew that they could come in, and it was like this immersive experience, and everybody could engage and just have fun. And be a part of it. And so the audience changed. But yeah, you know, we call them the blue hair audience. I don't need to be mean. That's you know, there were a few of those, and it's like they don't get the Black culture of what James was doing with Shakespeare. But and then they do too. They just respond differently. And so as an artist, you want that immediate gratification of the hearing them laugh and clapping and all of those things. Whereas, you know, certain audiences, like if you go over to the West End in London, they don't respond the way we respond. Or if in Asian countries, they don't interrupt. It's, you know, and so it's more of a cultural thing. So it's not that they're not liking or not getting it. It's just how they've been raised to appreciate things, and so we're all different, you know.
Yeah. Very true.
Yeah.
I'm curious, Nikki, you've been such like a journeywoman actress over the years for the past, I'd say like 30 years. If people don't know your name, they've seen your face on
since I was 10,
Living Single and Martin and A Different World and Malcolm in the Middle and Pretty Little Liars. Since you've done so much TV over the years, what do you get recognized for the most, or the like age group that comes up to you and says you're so and so from so and so?
You know what? What's so crazy, because like you mentioned, Martin and Living Single, and I always go, why are they mentioning that? This is the beginning of my career. You know, I was in the early 20s. I had just graduated from Carnegie Mellon, so you know, I was just so ecstatic to even be on those shows. Oddly enough, Martin, these younger kids, because of all the reruns, they're like, and the character, like, what? It's so funny. People who have seen my dramatic work, they don't believe that they're like, you do comedy? Like, like the casting directors out here used to call me the Black Lucille Ball. Like, that is my thing, you know?
Yeah.
And so Half Hour that's all I booked when I came out here. And I'm playing this really like dilly character that she has these scenes with Martin Lawrence. And he couldn't even get through that. Like, we're in the bloopers because he kept laughing. But I'm so surprised these young kids, like, they're like, you're Shanae from, you know, Renee from Martin. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah, that's me. Yeah. So
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, those were very like popular shows like back then, and like I mean shows that, you know, we grew up on, and I don't know. I sound like my parents now, but I'm always like, man, they don't make TV like they do like back then.
You're right. They don't. It's so different, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's different now, though. Like you were mentioning the young, maybe a younger generation coming up, mentioning Martin, like the world of streaming, like there's access to all of this backlog of programming that when we were growing up, we didn't have it. If your power went out and the VCR didn't get it, it's gone.
You missed it.
Yeah.
Now it's amazing. So yeah, that it's great that, you know, some work from the past can be rediscovered.
That's good and bad. But yes, in the case of Martin, absolutely. I love doing that, and I love working with him. It was so funny. Yeah.
And a lot of those bloopers from Martin have been popping up like on Instagram and stuff, and just how like funny and fun and sometimes very improv the show was, and you had to hold it together.
It was so hard working with Martin dressed as Shanae. And when I tell you, like, oh my God, and that, you know, he would do things to make you laugh, and I'm just like, okay, I can't do this. Like, this is one of my first jobs. It's gotta go away. But we had a blast, yeah. And he's also from Washington, D.C. That's where I grew up. So yeah.
Now, since you've had such a great career in both TV and theater, like we always get this, and it's always hard to choose. But which one do you like more? Do you like TV more or theater?
I don't. I like them equally.
Equally?
The same. Yeah, I do. You get different things out of each of them. You know.
Yeah.
Film is very intimate. Television, depending on, is a single camera, half hour. You know, if it's a 3 camera, half hour comedy, you might have a live audience. So it's very much like theater. but they're all different. And what I love and have been grateful to have had in my career is that I can go from theater, then go do TV, and then go do a film, then go back and do theater, you know, and that's the way I've always wanted my career to be. So I don't have a preference. I love doing all of them. I wouldn't want to just stay focused on one, because theater keeps your chops up. And to be out there doing 8 shows a week, you know, especially if you're playing comedy, each audience is different. So you have to execute the jokes differently. You have to, you know what I mean? It takes a lot of skill to get out there and play different houses, to play them well. And whereas, you know, TV, you don't really have to worry about that. You know, you put it down, you're funny, hopefully, and then you have a great director who comes in and edits it in a way, and then it really becomes his piece, you know. So I don't have a preference.
What sparked the entertainer actress in you? Do you remember that moment where you were like, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to do it?
Yes. Yes. Well, I was a dancer. I was a classical ballerina first. That was, I thought, I started off doing that and dance all the way until I was a senior. I used to leave school early. I would dance 6 days a week. I was going to dance with New York City Ballet.
Oh, wow.
And I started taking acting classes early on to kind of enhance my ballet. Is that, at least that's what I said, but it was more because that's really what I wanted. And I remember telling this, I had this interview one time when I was on the Tony junket, press junket, and I told him, I said, I was in 5th grade and I was sitting on my driveway and I had ordered this book, and I think the book was, I don't know, $1.25, and it was this black and white book on how to become an actor, and it swore that if you read this little paperback book, that you would too be able to become an actor. And I can still see myself on the driveway with my green corduroys. And I'm reading through this and I'm like, I'm going to be an actress. So I always wanted to perform. I knew I was going to perform. When I was really young, my parents took me, first Broadway show was The Wiz. And I was, with Stephanie Mills, the original. I was like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. And my parents never stopped me. My father was a musician. I come from a family of musicians. So my aunt, grandmother, jazz musicians. My dad used to play with Donny Hathaway. And,
wow.
Yeah. And so it was always encouraged, and I was going to do it no matter what.
That's so interesting. My dad was a musician as well, and he played mainly by ear. He could and he played bass, double bass, and trombone. And he was in the Army and played jazz band and everything like that. And he was the one that actually put the idea in my head to be an actor, because when I was in the tub, I had all of my toys and I would do like different scenarios and stuff. And he was like, you should be an actor. And I was like, you're right. And so ever since then, I was like on that track to do that. So
that's great.
Yeah. Now, before we get into the date stuff, I also found this, and I thought about this and I was like, I do remember this scene because I thought it was the most randomest scene to put into this show, but also, like, of course, they coordinated this. You were in Selena the series.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was.
Yeah, and you played the mother of my diva, Beyonce. You played Miss Tina Knowles. Yeah, and I was like, I remember that because I'm a huge fan of Selena, and especially after the movie. And I remember that scene, and I was like, what is such a random scene for them to have like little Beyonce meeting
well, that's
meeting
a true
Selena.
That really
Because
it did.
Story.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yes, Selena stands know that famously did happen.
Yeah. And I was like, how interesting, and also to have this in, but like, how was that to like played Tina? Because obviously you're the only person that has played Tina Knowles.
I guess
true.
as a
Yeah.
vet, and I've met them. You know, I've met Beyonce a few times, and Tina, and so Southern people, real down, just genuine good people. So I already kind of had an idea, of how I wanted to play her. You know what I mean? Because this is early on before the celebrity and all of that. So
Yeah.
it was cool. I think for me, just working on that show, it was like right during COVID, and so we shot it in Mexico, and they gave us these incredible houses right on the ocean. I had like a 3-bedroom, 3-story house. And so that's really what I was enjoying.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm glad I booked a role, but this house on this beach, like, how many days you need me? Do you need me to reprise the role? Do you want to add her to another scene?
That's
You just mess up all day, and then gotta redo it tomorrow.
It was fantastic. Yeah. So.
Oh wow.
But it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cool.
Well, I'm sure by now, like, everyone is anxiously awaiting for us to get into the days of our lives of it all.
Okay.
And I want to start off with the question that so many people have, and I feel like it's only appropriate to have a fan ask you this question. So we're gonna have Tamara come in and ask you this question. I always want to get people's names right, but hopefully I didn't butcher it. Hi, Tamara.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good. Tomorrow, Nikki, Tamara.
Yes.
Hi, Tamara.
Miss Crawford, how are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Fine. My question is, how does it feel to step into the role after Renee Jones played her for many years? Also, has it been real hard or easy portraying such a well-loved character?
Well, great question. I will tell you this. This is my first time doing a soap. And when I was approached to even read for the part, I just put it down on tape. I was actually still back in New York at the time. And they named it, I don't know what the woman's name was, but it was not Lexi, right? I think it was Dr. I don't know. Let's just say Dr. Sarah Jones or whatever. I don't know what the name was. And it was a scene with her son. And so it was a or her nephew. It wasn't even her son.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And it was like, oh my, the scene was her coming back and to town and hadn't seen her nephew and amazed at the fact that he had grown up. And so I played it. And I think what they wanted to see is, one, if the actor looked in the vein of Renee Jones, and then also emotionally, could she bring all of those emotional components to the character, which, I did. So what, 2 months go by? I mean, they responded, said, we loved your tape, we're sending it to producers, but I've heard that many times. And so until an actual offer comes in, you don't really think of it. So 2 months later, they send the offer and they're like, I said, oh, okay, what's this name? Lexi Carver. They said, oh yeah, no, you're the new Lexi Carver. And I'm like, oh God. I'm like, wait a second. Oh God. I didn't, and they wanted to keep it under wraps because, of course, if fans had found out about it or, people are, talk about their auditions or whatever, then it would easily get out. I mean, I'm amazed at what some of the fans find out.
Oh, we are too.
Yeah. I mean, people come through my Instagram page and like come up, say, oh, she only worked for 6 months. That's not true. So sorry, I hope you're listening. So yeah, it was intimidating. I'm going to say intimidating in the sense that you're coming in automatically being compared to somebody else.
Yeah.
I'm an actor. I've never worried about my acting. I have years of experience. I trust my gift, it's a God-given gift. And so I knew that I would be able to approach the character based on how they wrote this particular character, but I wanted to show, respect to the legacy of this character and also what Renee Jones did, but I couldn't come in doing a carbon copy of what she did. And I don't think anybody could do that. And it's not fair to do that because my approach to work is completely different than Renee Jones, and I can't be her. As beautiful and lovely and wonderful as she is, I'm NIkki Crawford.
Yeah.
So this role is going to be from my perspective of where she is 15 years later. And so, I certainly did my research. I spoke to James Reynolds about the character and all of the things that she went through. Everything that I do when I approach a role, I always do, research. But I'm not going to come in and do a carbon copy of somebody else. And I think that what I've seen, we do see the comments on the fan pages, the nasty comments too. And some of it's very hurtful, to hear, well, why she was sweet before. It's like, okay, but was she really? I mean, she slept with James's brother, and she did some dirt,
Yeah.
Wasn't always sweet, no.
Yeah, not always, but this is who she is 15 years later, and it's my portrayal of her. So yeah, at first it was intimidating because you're playing somebody who was on the show for 20 years, but I had to quickly forget that and just bring what I have to give to the role, and hopefully it's received, and if it's not, I can't worry about it. Yeah.
Well, Tamar, thank you so much for that question. That has got the ball rolling on our days. So thank you. We appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right.
Yeah. NIkki, had you prior to auditioning for Days, were you a fan of soaps? Did you watch any soaps growing up, or were you aware of any of the legacy characters?
I was aware of Renee just because of how gorgeous she was, and she was one of maybe the only female lead on a soap around that time, right? In maybe the 90s. Maybe there were a couple others.
There were a couple.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah. But I just remember her just being so, in awe of her beauty. No, I never watched soaps.
Yeah. No.
I don't really watch much TV, even the stuff that I'm on. Right? I watch documentaries.
Oh.
Yeah, that's really kind of my thing, and the news. And so it's not, or if I do watch something, it's going to be films. So, but of course, I watched a lot of Days prior to taking this part to try to fit into the world of Days as much as I could, possibly could.
Yeah.
And soaps are such a different world, when like when you're filming like a primetime show or something, like it's so fast paced and everything like that. Stepping into the world of soaps, what was there anything that you took away from it, or anything that you learned? Because you've had a career in television before, but like we always find that people, when they go into soaps, they're like, "Ooh, this can be a lot or a little overwhelming." Did you step into it and go like, "Oh wow, like this is new and different," and have to learn?
Yes, you guys asked amazing questions. These are really great questions, and yes, like I thought, oh, I've done theater for years. This is going to be a breeze,
Yeah.
Oh my God. For those first 6 episodes, I'm just laying dead. So I was like, this is the easiest money I've ever made. and then when I started getting dialogue, and then they started writing because they really saw what I could do. And then it went from maybe 3 or 4 pages to 10 pages to 30 pages.
Mhm.
I'm talking per day. Like,
Yeah.
I remember one week I shot 6 episodes in a week, and I had over 100 pages of dialogue.
Oof.
Wow.
So yeah, and so I was really like, I would be strategic about it. I would like, they give you the script a couple of days beforehand, and so what I would do is I would, for the weekend, I would memorize Monday and Tuesday script. And then so by Monday I'd start learning Wednesday script, and then Tuesday I'd learn Thursday script.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so that I would always, I would already have the words in my body. But I'm amazed that like some of these old school, I don't want to name any names, but some of the matriarchs on the show, they can come in, and I'll just say it because she's great. With Deidre Hall, like she can look at her, and then boom, and it's like on, and I'm like, you just
It's not that dialogue. Like,
yeah, I don't have that skill, so I really have to go home, decide on how I'm going to approach the scene, what I mean, all of it emotionally. We have one rehearsal, one take, and you might have a pickup.
Yeah.
So you best believe I'm not going to go on there, and I don't half-ass anything. I don't know if I can say it from here, but I don't. I'm a Virgo through and through, and I'm going to work 1,000%, and so I mean, it was hard work, but at the end of the day, it was so rewarding. And to work with people like James Reynolds, who he's just so lovely. And I would just go sit in his dressing room. We would talk, for not hours because we were working, but we would talk for, just about everything. And it was just so easy working with Jackie. Is just so much fun,
Wow.
Despite the scene that you just saw, she's a hoot. I love her. She's funny, Tyler, everybody, everybody, Deidre, everybody, Stacy, love, Dan, I love,
Nice.
They were just great, and we just had a good time. But it's like, you're working.
Yeah, you are.
Did they? Did they give you a warning, like when you went from like sleeping Lexi to talking Lexi, or did you just learn as you got the script? You're like, oh, I have some words this week.
No, I mean, I knew that eventually I'd wake up because of what my contract said, and I'm not going to state, you all know, but I'm not going to state, but I knew that I would eventually have stuff to say. I didn't think I was going to be in the coma as long as I did, or was rather, or the coma, whatever, death. I don't know.
The in between state.
Yeah, they haven't coined a name for it yet.
Yeah, and so I didn't. I was like, cool, okay, but can I act now? After a while, I didn't know it was going to become that much. Because there's so much more that happens.
we cannot wait for that.
It's a lot. Yeah, it's a
NIkki,
lot.
let me ask you, in your research, because you weren't a soap fan in Days in particular, in your research of Lexi, is there anything that you would like to ask us as Days connoisseurs about some of the stuff you were reading? Like, what the hell was that about? Or what was this storyline? This didn't make sense? Or, you know what I mean? We've had a few other recasts come on and we're like, okay, this is what she did, this, kind of a thing. Did you kind of come across any plot lines where you're like, what the hell is this about? But
it's like, oh, she did that?
Lexi Carver, yeah.
Yeah, but I would always just ask questions like when didn't she steal, she stole somebody's baby, right? She stole
Zach.
Yeah.
Zach.
Her best friend's baby, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
wouldn't give it back or something?
No, yeah.
No.
She
was like, she's like, that's my baby.
But
and I'm
she's
keeping
sweet all the time, right? Okay. Yeah. But stole someone's child. Okay. Yeah. She's a Demira. You know what I mean? She's got that edge, and you're seeing it. You certainly saw it on Thursday's episode,
Oh, so we when we saw that, or at least when I saw the scene, we have a group chat, so we'll talk. And someone mentioned it, and then I mentioned the song My from Johnny Gill. put on your red dress.
Yes.
Because
Mhm.
when Lexi was in that red dress, when she was played by Renee Jones, she was like full Demira. And she had the red dress with the high. And so
that one, yes.
yeah. So when Thursday's episode came and you were letting Paulina know, I was like, oh honey, she got on the red dress, honey. She is not playing. She is letting Paulina know.
And red dresses are a theme for the Demira women. They brought Stacey back in red dresses whenever they want to reveal them to be like you know,
true Demira
kind of thing. Like they always put them in a red dress. Yeah.
Interesting. Do they? And so they still do that.
Yeah, they did. Stacey, when she joined, she premiered in a red dress. I think Eileen, when they brought her back, maybe Eileen, she was in a red dress. Yeah.
Yep. Red dresses equal, especially with the Demira women.
Yeah.
That means you are fully embracing your Demira.
Yeah.
And
Demira-ness.
yes. Yes.
They should have given me a red hospital gown.
Some red silk pajamas instead of the purple.
Yeah. Well, speaking of being in a hospital gown and a in between like state, we do have a fan, Jen, who is a fan of the show, wants to come on and ask you a question. Jen, you're on live now. Hey.
Hi.
Hi,
Jen. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
You're killing it, by the way. It's really hard to come in, but a lot of my favorites are recasts, and you're doing a great job. You kind of hit on it a little bit, but I was just wondering, you said it was easy money, just be laying there. I just was wondering, is that harder than learning all of those dialogues? Just laying there trying to be still when everyone else is, doing their dialogue?
These are, you guys asked the best questions. These are really, really great. They were, some, I'm such a jokester. So I think the first time when EJ reveals me the first time, I had to think about the most horrific thing on the planet. I'm not even tell you because I was like on the brink of laughing. Like I was laughing.
I'm sure he didn't try to make you laugh either, son.
Yeah, I was like, don't laugh. So I had to think of something really bad. And so I wouldn't laugh. And then Jack A's just funny to me.
Oh man.
I knew that once she started and she's like, Lexi, and I was like, Nikki, don't laugh. This is your first day. So but then it got easier. But I will say this, because I have seen these comments too about my, somebody said she should get Botox.
Oh, goodness.
I have never thought about doing that.
And you shouldn't.
No, I don't want to. I have an expressive face, and I'm like, okay, like, I'm a woman of a certain age. So, like, I'm not 20, so, but they said, she's in her coma-like state, and she's got this frown. Now, that I did that on purpose, and I'm going to tell you why. Because when people are in coma-like states, they can hear, they can receive information, they can emote, all of those things. And so it was, the way I was playing it was Lexi's trying to come out of this darkness because she hears her son, she hears these people around her. And that's why I didn't have it all the time, but as I started getting closer to life, that's when I started doing that. But then I saw it like, oh, she looks older than Abe. And it's like, okay, really? All right. So, it's just, there's a reason for all that. So the first time was really difficult. But then after that, it was really kind of easy. Yeah.
Well, at least we got you there, because this is something we crack up on, that we I don't know if you have scenes with Lamone, but I don't know if you've met Lamone Archie, who plays Eli on the show. At one point, he plays Lonnie's.
Oh yes,
yes. At one point, he was in a coma on the show.
Yeah, years ago.
As Lamone was doing another TV show, they basically put like a light-skinned dummy in for him, and they would try to like cover him up. But you could tell like the skin obviously wasn't of a person. So I mean, we've talked about it endlessly. We talked about it with Lamone, but at least you actually got to act out.
You were there.
Yeah. They didn't put a tummy in for Lexi, and we get the shots of her, a little bit of her arm creeping out of the hospital bed, kind of a thing, like we did with LeBeau. But
wow.
yeah, at least you got to act those scenes, even if there was no dialogue.
No.
Yeah. I like how you I feel like I just don't. I'm not an actor. Never try to be an actor. I feel like as an actor, though, I would have just been like, you thought about it and you thought about how she would be reacting to everything despite being in a coma. I would have probably just laid there.
Yeah,
Just
nap time.
take a little nap. They probably would have had to stop if I started snoring. So I appreciate you didn't take advantage of that and actually, thought about how she would be reacting and emoting even in a catatonic state.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I had to think about her beginning and start building her arc. And that's how I approach all my work, and I didn't think of it, nobody comes back from the dead, right? But so I had to make it realistic for me is that she's been in a coma for 15 years.
Yeah.
And there are people who've been in comas for years, right? And so for most people who come out of comas, 15 years ago was yesterday for them, which is why she was so indignant with, I want to say Jackie, with
Paulina.
Paulina, thank you.
Yeah.
Because, well, what are you talking about? What do you mean you're living with my husband? I was just married to him. Yeah, I was just here yesterday. And unfortunately that isn't, I think that maybe that line needed to be said more, is that you imagine if you woke up and, you expected everything to be the same. You expected your son now is grown, your husband has moved on, and he's living, the world is completely different. How devastating that would be for anyone.
Yeah.
And yes, it would, anger, it would be, you would cry, you would be mad, all of those emotions. Anybody would react like that.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. She's fighting for her family. And now Theo's telling her, I really love, I love Paulina. And it's like, what?
It's very much like, Hoppo, who this woman?
Yeah.
Excuse me? Yeah.
So it's hurt. It's pain,
Yeah.
So you'll see that later on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, Jen, thank you so much for your question. We appreciate it. And also, Nikki, just so you know, you hit her ultimate favorite person.
Yeah. I was going to mention
you can't tell the pictures back there, but 95%, if not 100% of those pictures are all Dan Furigal.
Oh,
yes.
He's my favorite. That's why I'm Team Lexi, because Paulina is not nice to EJ, and I don't like that. So I'm Team Lexi. Team Lexi. But thank you for coming on, and then thank you for all you do.
Hey.
Thank you guys for letting me pop in.
Of course. Thank you, Jen.
Thanks, Jen.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my God! I love that when you were talking about the reveal of in the pod, because I know me, I would have tried to serve face at some point, so that way when that pod slid out, I would just get it. Yeah.
It was so. I'm telling you, it was. I mean, I literally was like. I was like, stop, this is you're gonna get fired.
And that has to be hard because everybody is having conversations and talking, and you were just literally laying there like I'm getting my check, I'm acting, I'm in it, I'm like I can't say anything, but also I feel like there's a part of you that's listening like, what y'all saying about Lexi?
Yeah. Just trying to be nosy.
Emotional stuff, So when Tyler was talking about, that remember the little dream segment? Right. And that's when I started frowning, is because I'm reacting to what he's saying too. You know what I mean? People react in comas. They do.
They do.
Happens all the day. They move, they cry,
they
frown, they smile. That's why when you go to the hospital, they say if they're in a coma, talk to them.
Yeah.
They can hear, they can respond. You know, they may not be able to say it verbally, but you know. Yeah.
Now the scene that I love, and I feel like we all loved, was after the reading of the will, and everybody's toasting to Stefano, and all of a sudden the little secret door opens, and Lexi walks out, and the way that it was shot, like it was so classic soap. It was so Cliffhanger Friday. It was so. I mean, it was so good. It was the slow-mo of the door opening, then back to the group, and then you walking out, and then them looking at you, and then you looking at them like, who are these people? And then they looking at you like, Lexi, and then you looking at them like, all these people. And it was just, it was so good to finally get that script of like, you're not laying in the bed and you're up and about. Like, how was that that scene, like, you know, walking in and seeing like basically the DiMera family, including James Reynolds. How was, take us that to that scene? Like, how was that, like the reveal of Lexi?
I think it was a little nerve-wracking because you like Stacey, she's so great. Kristen.
Yeah.
Kristen, I mean, so Stacey's just like, what a way to make an entrance, you know?
And that's a woman who knows about entrances. Let me tell you,
Yes.
she's made entrances as herself. She's made entrances in a mask. She's made entrances with wigs, with fake teeth. That woman knows what an entrance is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was great. So I was a little nervous because the whole cast is there.
Mhm.
I don't know if that was like a big day. So I think like the big people came down from Peacock and stuff. So there was a lot of people on set that day. And I think it was just a little nerve wracking. And it was the first day that my character got up, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, I but it was cool. It was, it was fine. Yeah, and I got to meet my other siblings that I hadn't met previously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The DiMera siblings are interesting because half of them aren't even blood, but consider themselves DiMera's, and then nobody has the same, no one has the same mom.
No.
They're all, it's such an interesting family, dynamic.
Yeah, right. Isn't it? Some of them have English accents.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is definitely a Brady Bunch.
Like, I didn't understand. Yeah, how is it that how do they justify? I know, well, Dan is Australian, but how do they justify that within the world?
EJ, I guess EJ was raised in he was raised in London because not his father, his stepfather Edmund. They lived in England with the that's right?
Yeah. At first, and then I think the way, because Dan's character EJ was also kind of Zoroaster, if you're aware of the magical aging of soaps, where characters who were infants one day are teenagers the next day, and
then full-grown adults the next week.
Yes, So, but the way that his history kind of goes is that his stepfather was British, so he spent his primary years growing up across the pond with them until Stefano deemed him of age to be molded into his image, and then he came and got him, and then he grew. He spent most teen young adult years with Stefano.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
And then the Tony and Andre were adopted, and Kristen.
So was
and
Kristen
Kristen and Peter adopted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chad's the baby of the family. He was kind of like he kind of grew up in and around the area, but didn't know Stefano till he was like 19.
Yeah. Okay.
Welcome to Salem.
Lexi has been the quintessential favorite. She absolutely was Stefano's favorite child. She was sort of the heart of the DiMera family. Like, she had her period where she embraced being a DiMera and being evil. But for the most part, she's been a very even-keeled character. And especially, I think the later years before the last few years that Renee portrayed her, they were able to strike a really good balance with her, with her being who she was, but also embracing EJ and Tony and her father and having relationships with them. So I think that all that adds to, I think, how beloved the character is. Hopefully you feel that. I know you've talked about getting a little craziness from the fans, but hopefully you get the other side too, that you are portraying very well, by the way, just a beloved character who I think people really missed. And I think speaking to the fact that you said when you actually woke up and got to move around a bit, that scene I think was great. And Tony mentioned it. Days hasn't done a scene like that in a while. And the fact that they held on everyone going back and forth, Days has not done that in it's probably been a couple decades, since the 90s. They don't really do scenes like that. So I feel like it was like Lexi's coming out and she's back now. And just even something simple as holding on you for that long was like, I think it was just a way to honor the history of the character. Like, wow, this character has returned, and it's something big and it's something special. So hopefully you feel that.
It's the irony. I see that as like the irony of like theater versus soaps, where there's so many similarities, where in theater, you know, like the moment, like, you know, where a moment has to be big and versus a moment that has to be quiet. And it's kind of similar on soaps, where you have to hold on the quiet moments and then go boom, boom, boom to get everyone's reaction in a way that you can't in theater. But the camera, that's really like the cameraman's job to do that, is to go, everybody hold, and then boom, 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 boom. We got to get it.
I know that a lot of people were talking about that. So it's exciting with my satin pink pajamas.
Yes. Now we've touched on this a little bit, and even before we went live, the comments that soap fans have, and you know, you've mentioned that you've received some not so nice ones, and some very rude ones, and some very nasty ones. I do want to say from us that you are doing an amazing job as Lexi. It is never easy coming in as a recast of a character, and it is added pressure on any actor who comes in to step into those shoes. As an actor, though, you're doing your job. You're doing what's asked of you, but you are doing an amazing job, and even hearing what you've done and the research that you've done to make sure you honor her history, but also honor yourself as an actress and as a performer. I think that is also commendable and should be noted. So for anyone that has anything nasty to say about you, number one, don't listen to them, because they could never do what you have to do, and they will never understand what it's like to come in and have to do this. Because listen, we as soap fans, we have our moments. Stacey, I famously tell this story all the time. Stacey Haiduk was a recast of Kristen, and when she was announced, I was like, who this? Because she's not Eileen Davison. Like, what is going on? Right? I wasn't nasty. I didn't message her and be like, I don't know who you think you are, but I'm gonna tell you who you ain't. You know? But she came on the screen as because Kristen is two characters. She's Kristen and Susan. She came on as Susan first. And the second that door opened and she portrayed Susan, I was like, oh, yes, okay, we're good, right? And that's when you let it go. But I told Stacey, I said, baby, when you came on, I was like, I don't know who you are and I don't know who you think you is, but you ain't my Kristen. But then, you know, you fall in love with them, and fans have to know. And listen, I have talked to the fans, because sometimes I got time, so I'll listen. So
I heard the crack.
Yeah, so that's also due to age. But what fans have to understand is that it's not easy, and it's very hard to come in and be a recast and still be beloved and everything that you want that character to be, but as someone else. So y'all stop doing that. Don't be reaching out to this talented woman and leaving hateful comments and stuff. She is beautiful. She is Tony nominated. She has been doing this for longer than some of y'all have been watching Days. So don't be coming for her and her talents, okay?
I mean, like you said, they could never.
Yes.
They could
They
never.
could never.
They could never.
I was forewarned.
Say it.
That, like, the producers told me, Stacey told me, she's like, don't read the comments. She
Yeah.
said,
Yeah.
and they told me when I got the part, and I still probably didn't understand the magnitude of it because I'm not a soap watcher. They said they're going to be very passionate.
Yeah.
That was a nice way of, some people are going to be really nasty, you know, and it's, I mean, what I want to ask them is like, could you be somebody else? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, when the cast, when the role is recast, it's a different person. The interpretation's different. There's going to be parts of who Lexi is naturally, but the writing is where they, you know, the writing is for 2026, not for when she was here. You know what I mean? So the comments of, you know, there was always an age discrepancy between, or not, I won't say discrepancy, but what Abe is in real life.
No, there was, yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, they're saying, oh, she should be younger. She's too old. Renee's 14 years. She's 14 years older than me.
Yeah.
So I was watching her when, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
Like,
it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
The math doesn't math.
You know what I mean? Maybe she looked, you know, when she left the show, I look older than what she did. That's fine. That's fair. But to say, you know what I mean? Renee's almost, you know, and it's on you know, it's on the web. She's almost 70 years old now.
Yeah.
And think about it. She's supposed to be the same age as Kayla and all those.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely. Yep.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't really, you know, but I guess they say when you die and you're in a suspended, and, you know, you're stay that age. It's like, okay, but then some, you know, when I did the video introducing myself, everybody was like, she's too young. She's too young.
Yeah.
She's gonna look like Abe's granddaughter. It's like, and then I saw people say, when I was in the coma state and I hadn't said anything, they were like, I hate her already. Yeah. And people would say, she hasn't said anything.
Yeah, exactly.
You'll find that a lot of it doesn't make sense. We've had, and we won't, because they've come on the show and talked about it before. Dan has sort of faced the same thing when he came on as EJ.
Yeah.
Sherry as Gabi sort of faced it.
She's so beautiful. Yeah.
And it's so funny because, like we said, it doesn't make sense. And the irony is, which we point out on our show, is most of the people that you love are all recast. There's actually only, there's only a handful of actors on Days that are their original character. It's like James, it's Susan, it's Suzanne, it's Deidre. Everyone else is a recast of someone else who they
wait a second, wasn't Susan a recast?
Susan Seaford, yeah, Susan
Seaford Hayes.
She
was a recast.
She was like the original Julie, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, when you think about it in that sense. Yeah.
Welcome to soap opera.
You walked into the room of Damaris, and
Tony,
only one of them.
You might remember this when Lauren Koslow came on the show, and she said, she talked about being a recast, and she said, I come from the theater where everyone plays every part, and so the idea of a recast doesn't mean the same thing it means when you come over to television or you come over to soap. So a lot of it is just mindset and silliness, and a lot of that will dissipate once people see your talent and see how great you are, and if they don't, they'll never get it, you know.
Yeah, and it's fine, but it's a bit, you know, especially coming into this world, again, it at first you're just like, wait a second, I'm portraying this character, I'm given these words, these are the words that you know, I'm not really a bitch. I saw something that said that she's a ghoul, send her back to hell, I can't wait till she dies. And it's like,
oh my God,
you know, I'm like, my boyfriend, so he's like, don't read any of it. He's an actor, you know, and he's like, anytime they replace Superman, Batman, the same thing happens, you know. So,
but to your point that you said earlier, you know, the conversation that we saw this week between Lexi and Paulina, it's true. Like, Lexi is in a state of mind of when she left Abe in that part, and we thought she had died. that's the last thing she knows of and that she remembers. So now that she's back to life, she's like, I'm coming to take what's mine. Like this is the man that I love. This is my son.
Right.
I'm coming back into my life.
Right.
15 years might have passed, but baby, I don't know who you are. And from what I have researched, you're not that good of a person anyway with your little Price town. So it's like, and I read a comment too where somebody was like, "Oh, she's mean." I'm like, well, how would you feel if like you had died and came back to life and somebody got your man living up in your house and with your son? You wouldn't be nice to them. You baking them cookies? No.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. It's so true though. And anybody would react that way.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Let me find out about like the world. Yeah, what is this? You can search. Give me your phone. Teach me how to.
Right.
How did you learn how to get on? It's like, Theo showed me.
Yeah.
Heck, she should just be grateful that that the iPhone was invented at the time that she had passed.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I love the fact that Lexi woke up and said, "Let me get on this Google and find out what is going on." And that was also a great, dialogue between Lexi and Kayla.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you needed someone else to kind of be like, "Listen, this is what I know." And it's kind of like what you know, like, am I right? Like this is, so you needed someone other than, you needed a prep. Before you talk to Abe or before you talk to Paulina, like, okay, this is what I read. Is this true about this woman? Like, okay, it is.
Yeah.
Bring on in.
Right. And you're gonna see in like this coming week's episode, when she meets with, EJ comes and she's gonna explain herself why, what I mean? It's like I'm put in this position of coming back, and the world has changed drastically around. How do I fit in?
Yeah.
And so, I think anybody would feel like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
Well, speaking of, before we keep you here any longer, because we'll make you the whole show.
Yeah.
But we always like to ask people using one word, because how these fans are slippery sleuth, so we don't want to give them too many.
Yeah.
Using one word, what could we expect with Lexi moving forward?
Mm-hmm.
Just one. Don't give us too much, because
we
want
one
you to
word.
Just one word. Yeah, just one word, because we want you to keep your job. We don't want them to. We don't want them to be like, she was on that interview and she has said all this, and now just give them one word to anticipate what's coming up for the future.
I know I have to be very careful with what I say. I'm gonna say
or waited with bated breath.
Yes. Love.
Okay.
That's a good one. That's a good safe one.
Yeah.
There are other things that I could say too, but
I
think that's her whole objective.
Yes.
Okay.
Love. I love that. Yeah, that's a real good one. Yeah. And safe.
Safe. Yeah. Also, to protect what's hers.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah. Listen, we get it. We understand. She's back up. She's out of that pod, and she's like, I want my life. Yeah. Well, Nikki, we appreciate you being on our show today. And we really wanted to do this because, it is a very impactful storyline. I mean, the fact that they have resurrected this character after 15 years. One, we were like, well, I know I was like, huh? Like, she's been gone for 15 years. Like, what? Like, how? Okay, well, I'm gonna sit here and figure this out. Like, what they gonna do? But also, it's one of those storylines where you're just like, okay, let's go on this journey and see how it pans out.
And it's sweeps months. Sweeps,
Yeah.
right? So this is
Mhm.
that's a tongue twister. Sweeps month, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody's talking about it like it's like, oh God, whether
Yeah.
they like it or not.
Hey.
They're talking about it.
They talking about it. Whether they like it or not, it's happening.
Yeah,
And
right.
they're watching. And they're
And
watching.
it's filmed.
Yes. And we appreciate you coming on. We really hope, because with any interview that we do, we love for people to get to know the person.
Yeah.
And so I really hope that people understand you more, that they see how warm and talented and fabulous you are,
Thank you.
and that they can now go into the rest of the storyline with a different lens and appreciate you, and what you're doing for the show. So fans out there, y'all appreciate this hardworking woman, because she on your TV screen whether y'all like it or not.
Thank you so much for having me. Your fans and you guys asked incredible questions. It's been so enjoyable. Thank you.
Yeah. And we'll have to have you back when we really get into what Lexi is doing. We're gonna have to have you back so we can talk about it.
Call me next month.
Okay. Preview.
We got you on the docket.
For the next couple of months.
Okay.
Oh yes, we're gonna be reaching out like bring Nikki in. Not Nikki. Now what's going on this week?
Let's do it. I'm down. You guys are great. Yeah.
Oh, thank you. You're amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and enjoy your weekend, and enjoy your Memorial Day weekend.
Thank you for coming on with us, because when you said you were, and I was like, wait, this weekend she is? I was like, okay, good.
Oh yeah, no, I'm here. Go walk outside.
Yeah.
I won't say where.
Don't you tell them people where. Because you'll forget. You'll think this was a FaceTime, and next thing you know, people walking by like, "Are you Nikki from Days of Our Lives?" You're like, "How you know I was here?" "Oh, we watched Dishin Days." Don't you tell them people.
I almost said it, but but I'm going outside. Yeah.
You go outside, but don't tell nobody where.
Okay. All right. You guys
Thank
have
you,
a
Nikki.
great weekend. Thank
You
you.
too.
Thank you.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, she's so amazing.
Oh, she was great.
So good. Well, guess what, y'all? We still got more show to do.
I know.
Yeah. Let's get into it real quick, shall we? So we're gonna keep going with our top storylines. And we are starting with our first one, which is, it's probably up there already, but I done switched over to the thing. Here we go. Oh yes. My man. Is that what the kids do?
Yeah.
My man. So
I was like, what?
Oh, I'm sorry. 6'7".
Oh God.
So we've talked a lot about since we had Nikki on for the past hour, which was amazing. We've already touched on Lexie, Abe, and Paulina and Theo, which again, after talking with Nikki, it's understandable why Lexie is in the state that she's in right now, and really like she's going to her and being like, listen, I understand, this has been life for you, but for me, like, things haven't progressed, in my mind. So that's my man.
Yeah. My man, that's my family.
Yeah.
Who's this woman?
After this conversation, I feel like everybody can get on the same level of understanding of what it is from Lexie's perspective. And Paulina kind of knew this was coming. She knew going in, she was not blindsided. She knew that this was a very strong possibility. She knew what the potential outcome was going to be. So this is not something that she was unprepared for. No matter how much hurt, she was prepared for this. The dynamic that I'm actually more interested in going forward is not just that my husband has another wife. The dynamic that I'm interested in is that my husband has another life.
Yeah. Yep.
Because it's not just about Paulina. It's about Lonnie. It's about Chanel. It's about all the grandbabies that they have together. It's about, you know, he's lived a whole life. He, you know, a few years ago he was producing a soap. You know, Paulina took over as the mayor. It's a different life transition. Theo's grown up. You know, they have a whole different life and whole different people that they love, that they're dedicated to. You know, Paulina removing herself from the situation does not change the fact that Lonnie calls Abe and Paulina mom and dad. It does not change the grandchildren they have together. It does not change the past few years that they happened.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you said that, because that's what was, I loved the conversation with Paulina, and I loved better the conversation with Kayla, which I thought started out a little rocky with Lexi. It was like, oh, it took me back a minute. But I think the more they got into that conversation, the more I think she sort of evened herself out a bit and being reasonable about what she wanted, but also recognizing time has passed and everything. But yeah, the one thing I did was sort of disappointed with, and Nikki sort of just hinted that we're going to possibly next week get a little bit more of this, which I'm waiting for. When Theo was talking to her and he said, oh, it's not just me, which I thought was great. And he said, it's about Lonnie and Chanel. And I was waiting, and it seemed like Lexi had already heard about them and knew about them. And that part I was like, oh, I wish we had saw that. You know what I mean? I'm waiting for those little beats of recognition. Yeah, I don't need to see her meet everyone from 15 years ago and have a single reunion with everyone. But certain things I want to see. I want to hear her, or, you know, I want to see her hear that Abe has now other children outside of Brandon that she knows, obviously, that the situation is complicated with Lonnie. He now has a daughter who isn't his biologically now, but is adopted, who has children. So he has, like you said, he has grandchildren with Paulina. It's not just she goes away and then, you know, she leaves town or something. No, she's heavily enmeshed. They have a family, a life, exactly what you were saying, Araceli. So I'm waiting for that to be explored a little bit more. I'm a little disappointed we didn't get a recognition of Lexi finding that out. I feel like that could have been a bit important, I think, to see. But
maybe it's to come.
Yeah. Well, she already knows about it. I wanted her to get the initial of like, wait, you have a daughter? You have a grown daughter who's older than Theo? Like, how, like I want that explanation. It seemed like she had already gotten that. So I was like, okay. Yeah. But I don't know. I want those moments. I want to see more of those moments coming up with Lexi.
Yeah. All right. Anything else we want to address about the storyline before we move on? Okay. Well, let's move on to our next top storyline, which is Gabi's horrible, no good, very bad day. I did not expect that to come out in that way, but I'm also not surprised that it was Anna who slipped up and said Gabi's the one that's responsible for what Titan is going through now.
If there's one thing Anna is 100% a master at, it's shooting herself and her own interests in the foot.
Yeah.
But I feel like Anna went over there because she was just like, yeah, she's responsible for what y'all are going through. And I was like, girl.
Oh, she definitely knew what she was doing. Yeah. She didn't think of the consequences to Tony, but she definitely knew what she was.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She just didn't think it through and realize maybe this is actually not good for me.
Because Anna was like, listen, I'm not about this. I don't want you back at the mayor. What? Here we go. It's again thinking of a plan while you're in the car or taking a shower and going, you know what? I'm just gonna do that. Yeah. And it's like, but wait, you're just at the surface of the plan. Think about 5 steps in. Is this gonna benefit you at this moment, or is it gonna benefit you in the long run? Now there is also a part of me that's like, okay, fine. I'm glad that it's out.
Oh yeah.
Now Gabi doesn't have to do things and be like
that guilt. That always having show her feeling guilty because the elephant in the room is now gone.
And the elephant in the room. I mean, listen, he was sitting there, but when Anna came in, he took a little gallop. He turned into Horton and was like, "Notice me."
Yeah.
Started walking through. But sometimes I'm also just like, y'all, this is Salem. You have to suspect that somebody that you have dealings with probably has done something that can be unforgivable. Do we think that this needs to be the end of Gabi and Philip, or is this something that can be worked through? Because mind you, let's not forget, Philip, your mama forged a letter from Victor saying, well,
That was
not
Vivian.
your mama, but
Yeah.
but
yeah.
your mother,
Surrogate,
Vivian, your surrogate, I almost said sperm,
Surrogate
your egg donor. Like,
You choose the surrogate, not the egg donor.
whichever. So it's like you don't have a very squeaky clean thing either.
Mm-mm.
So
Everyone's hypocritical. Everyone, when they're on the receiving end of the deception, of course they're gonna act all like, "How dare you did this to me? You know, you lied to me." Blah blah blah. You know, it's a whole different story when it's you're the one being deceived and not doing the deception. And it's just kind of the ride we have to take with this. Do I think it's gonna be the end of them? Maybe not. There's a road to recovery here, but the initial shock of it. And you know, he'll get over it.
I think it's two things. First, it is what he said, which is that if she had told him at the outset, or when he confessed to her what had happened, and she had said, I already knew, he might have found a way to forgive her. And I think the other thing is that Philip has not allowed himself to be this vulnerable with a partner in a very long time, in a very, very, very long time. So, because even his other relationships he's had in the last 20 years, he has not. There's always been he's always been the one keeping secrets, or there's always been something, you know, that they, you know, couldn't be said, couldn't be talked about, blah blah blah. And so he went into this relationship fully thinking that it was going to be different.
Yeah, I think there's like I said, there's a path to recovery in the future. But I definitely think this is enough of a grievance for him to break up with her. Definitely, like it rises to the occasion of him saying, "Get out, we're done." Hopefully, they can work it out in the future, because I do like them as a couple. But no, this is definitely enough for him. He's definitely justified in breaking up with her over this.
But see, goes back to like how couples are happy in the morning and then they break up by the evening. And there's a part of me that just wants someone to be a little more sensible, especially you can't be hypocritical when you've done some dirty deeds yourself. Like, even if it was just like, I need a moment, don't come back to the house. Like, I need time to think about this. I would understand that. But to be like, I am done with you, I don't want nothing to do with you, you get out of my house, even though like last week she was biting her lips and giving you the eyebrow and you were just like, you know, like, how we go from 0 to 60 in 3.5 in Salem?
I think it's different if we're talking about like I did something to you, you did something to me kind of a thing. But I don't know if it's applicable to like, if I do something to you, then I bring up you did something to Michael, and then you did something to Araceli. It's like, well, that has nothing to do with me screwing you over. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I understand, like, no, not everyone's perfect, but I think it's different when you're in a relationship with someone that you have, you know, it's not like Philip screwed Gabi over last week, and then he's like, oh, so we're even, you know. I think that would be different, but coming into this, I think, you know, especially after he confessed that he didn't need to, sort of his secrets and his screw ups, that sort of was the perfect opportunity for her to admit what she did. And maybe I don't know if he would have necessarily forgiven her right then, but it would have been maybe a different conversation. But now that he's moved her in, he's been vulnerable with her. He feels like she's been on this fight with him to save the company, and lo and behold, they're in this mess because of her. partly.
Mhm.
So it's like, I don't know.
Partly, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
like, let's
she's
be
not.
fair. It started with him.
Yeah, she's not. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And do we think that maybe Xander kind of gets that more than Philip?
I was really surprised about that conversation. I thought that was the most mature Xander has ever been on the show. It was the most even keeled. By the end, before he made his speech about still hating her, I was like, are they gonna like team up, or is he gonna like? I thought they were building towards something else going on there, but I gotta give it up to Xander. I thought he was the most. I think that is the best that Gabi's gonna get out of this situation for right now. That is the most sympathetic she's ever going to get from anyone from the Kiriakis family, is what Xander said to her.
Yeah, but I think that Xander having gone through what he went through with Philip, because Philip, again, this all started with Philip. This was Philip's mistake on the outset. Having gone through all that with him, and having that they did go tit for tat in a big way. And now them being in a place where they are having forgiven each other, I think that Xander, that's like a different layer of maturity there for Xander, where because he's kind of already been through this with Philip, it's not going to change his initial anger at Gabi, but I think he has a different perspective on it. He can see it where he's like, we're not friends right now. Let's be clear. We're not friends, but the me that went through this kind of similar thing a year ago gets it.
Yeah, he gets it.
I'm also glad that, like, oh my god, see, this is what I mean by the evolution of a character, because they could have easily had Xander like go off like he normally would, but the fact that he did a 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, what the heck is bothering me kind of a moment, I'm like, kudos, because that as a person, like, you want to see people evolve, and like instead of responding in a very typical Xander way, like Gabi thought he was going to, he was like, I've been working with Dr. Marlena Evans' Black Roba show, and I'm just gonna, but and I was like, I appreciate this, because even I was sitting there like, oh Lord, here we go. I'm like, Xander, please don't. I was like, please don't go to jail. Please don't go to jail. So we do have a sound off from our favorite person in Tacoma, Washington, Miss Myrtle Hope, who had this to say about Gabi and Philip, but also an interesting take on just couples in Salem as well. Check this out.
And I'm from Tacoma, Washington, and my rant is about them breaking up Philip and Gabi. I don't like that they broke them up. I think Philip and Gabi were a good couple. And I think when you look at the state of the couples that are on the show, none of them are really that good. And I think if you think about Days as being a show where the foundation is super couples, they're really not doing a good job of setting up future ones, because the couples that are still together either suck or get broken up. Philip and Gabi were a good couple, but they get broken up. But Alex and Stephanie, who are boring, get to stay together. And who cares about potentially seeing a Xander Gwen Kristen love triangle? That is not exciting. Like, none of the pairings that are on are interesting or exciting to potentially watch. And I think like they're missing that super couple element. And if you disclude like Steve and Kayla, who are still on, and like the other super couples are still on, they really don't have that when that used to be such an important part of the show. So I think they need to write better couples and write better for the couples. Thank you.
I don't know what it is about Myrtle Hope, but but there are times where I'm like, did some like 70-year-old Days of Our Lives fan hop into you and say, tell them about this, Myrtle Hope? Like I looked at that rant and I was like, you know what? She's right. Like it makes sense, and she does get it. Like, Days of Our Lives has been built on family and these super couples, and a lot of the favorite couples, like that we're like, yes, like this is in game, they belong together. They have broken them up, and sometimes, yes, you do. Just like Steve and Kayla, John and Marlena, they all went through things that tore them apart, but eventually Bo and Hope, their love was so strong that it brought them back together. And right now, she's right. There's not a lot of couples or people that they have paired on the show where we feel like that super couple thing with. And so it's like when you finally get two people that make sense and work, in this case, she's team Gabi and Philip, you're like, well, what the? So
And
now
they're
you're going to break them up?
They've already gotten rid of the younger one. I mean, the super couple we thought was ushering in a new generation, they've already fired. So
they got rid of them, and then there was we had hope for Sarah and Xander, and then but I was like, murder hope from Tacoma, Washington.
Yeah, now watch us all be the aunties and the uncles taking in Myrtle Hope and being like, okay, now we have to approve of whoever partner you choose, girl.
Okay. Yeah.
They better be worthy of all of that intellect.
They better be worthy of a Myrtle Hope. but she brought up a very interesting point, and very well thought out and very well explained. So no shade, Myrtle Hope. You do get the 3 Snaps Award, honey. Yeah, you did that. All right, and before we exit out of this, we have Gabi, Liam, Ari, and Julie.
Ruh-roh.
Gabi is giving Kate vibes now.
Oh yeah.
Like, girl, get out your child's business.
She learned from the master.
This is Kate offering Nicole $5 million to marry Lucas, so he can get custody of Will back in the day.
How much did she offer the guy? 500,000 or 150,000?
No, 100,000. Just 100,000.
Oh, 100,000. Because see, I would have been like, I need a little more. Like, I saw 100,000. I'm like, that's a lot of money, but it's not like that's gonna last you like a year, especially with a kid. Maybe not even.
I thought it was fine considering he's not really with Ari. I was like, okay, that's a nice paycheck considering you're not actually leaving a girlfriend, or you know what I mean.
At the time, remind me of my history. At the time that Kate made that offer to Nicole, was she still married to Victor?
Yeah.
No, this is before. That was before she was married to Victor.
That was before.
Before Nicole was married to Victor.
No, I'm asking was Kate.
No. Kate
was okay. So then she couldn't afford the $5 million to pay out to Nicole at the time. Yeah, I was like, Gabi. I know Gabi has money. She didn't have that money on her own.
No, but also correction. They said it was 150,000.
Oh, was it? Oh, okay, maybe. Okay.
Yeah.
See, that's like for a guy with a kid, that's like not gonna last even a year.
But also, that's more than what he has. That's more than what he made by replacing them snacks.
Question.
Did anyone else like me think it was set up first, and that she was going to take his answer to Ari as like proof? That's where I thought they were going first, and then when she kept going with it, I was like, oh, she's actually offering him this money to actually leave town. I thought it was going to be one of those. If he says yes, then it proves that he's not good for Ari. If he says no, then maybe she changes her mind.
But you also have to hand it to Gabi, because she could have just said take this money and go. But then when he was like, I can't because like I'm in this program, she was like, oh, bet. Hey Julie, can he do this via Zoom from somewhere else? I'm like, well, at least she cares about the man's program.
That I was surprised about. The Julie thing was a weird factor for me.
We all know Julie can't stand Gabi.
But I don't. Well, the Liam portion of it, I meant like, she seemed to be on Liam's side of turning over his life, and
but not getting involved with Ari. That's
did
a
she
different
really
conversation.
care that much?
I know.
I think
Gabi, Julie was so invested in Ari not being with Liam. I did that.
Yeah, I didn't get that
was
either.
A disconnect to me. Like, why does she care?
I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's necessarily, oh, Liam is bad for Ari kind of a thing. I think that Julie might see it differently, where she doesn't think that they are good for each other because of all the things we've already talked about. Liam is older. He has a child. He has more life experience. Ari's very young. She's very naive. And she doesn't think from my perspective, if I'm Julie, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, this is bad news bears. This is not good for that. They're not good for each other.
Julie is looking at Ari like, you're the spawn of that devil woman. So of course you don't deserve to be with someone that I know.
No, I mean, no, because she's Will's daughter. She's never held anything that Gabi has done against Ari because she's still Will's daughter. Lucas's granddaughter. So she's very, yeah. The girl's a Horton. So she's, you know how Julie is. She's ride or die for her Hortons.
Yeah, I guess I'm used to Julie sticking up for like the reformed bad boy who's trying to do good. That's been her character arc for the last 25 years, I guess. So I expected a little more resistance from Julie there. Especially if Gabi is the one on the other side. I expected her to just even dismiss Gabi on
exactly
alone. But then when she said Liam, I thought she'd be like, well, I'm working with him. He's a good guy. He's working in my bookstore. He has a son. He's trying to do the right thing. Like, regardless of whether he gets with Ari, that's their bit. I just thought she'd take a different approach, but
same.
Yeah. She seemed to be on board with it. Yeah.
But just y'all stay out your children's business. Like Ari to me seems very smart and responsible, and I don't think that she would get with someone that she felt like was a horrible person. And I don't think she thinks Liam is a horrible person. Has he made some mistakes? Yes. Should he have gone to Costco and restocked that room with the snacks? No, but he did it for survival. But I think she sees, even reading all that, she sees the good in him. And he's not bad. Like, he hasn't done anything that's deceitful. He's a good man, Savannah.
Good man.
A good man. He's just in a bad situation right now.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's move on to our last top storyline, which is a blended family. Dun, 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 dun. Here's the story of a girl named Joy who lied about her paternity test. Then she came back and told the daddy after the mama was kidnapped.
She's got good hair this week, Joy.
Is it me, or do they keep changing her hair?
I feel like they changed it, but it looked good this week.
I think we're also seeing the social media stuff, so it's throwing us off because that's different.
Oh, maybe
from what we're seeing on screen. So that
because I was like, this girl got more hairstyles than it's like did she find?
I feel like her hair was different, like just styled differently this week than it was in the episodes the prior week.
I think so,
but then the social media stuff, it's different too there. So if
yes.
you're watching all three, you're like, oh wait, she is.
You're like, what is going on with this child's head? Did she find the wig room that Lamone was in for his social media stuff, and now she playing in, and she's like, give me every wig that's red, then we just gonna do some stuff.
Every shade of red.
How do we feel about this? Honestly, I just feel like from Stephanie's standpoint, it's too much. It's coming out of a kidnapping and trying to feel safe and everything like that, to being thrust into now your husband has a baby mama and a baby. And I mean, there's a part of me that's like, yes, look out for yourself, because she was like, I'm not trying to be no stepmama. But I'm also like, dang, girl. But I'm also like, I get it. Like right now, she's not. Yeah. She's not in that state.
And my thing about that this week was like, who asked you to be?
I mean, it's kind of given.
Yeah,
it's given. But
if Alex is going to be all in with that kid, then Stephanie.
But that to me is a lot of people jumping the gun. And if I'm Joy, I'm like, nobody asked you to be instant mommy. I'm mommy. I'm right here.
But it's gonna but what we're saying is it may not be it may not be like the goal or the intention, but it's just naturally going.
It's the reality of having a child.
That's the reality of your husband having a kid. Like you are going to end up being this kid's stepmother, and there's going to be they may start out with oh, well, I'll just go visit him. And then inevitably it's going to be like, well, can the kid spend the night?
Yeah.
Oh, well, then I have to go to work. Can you watch the kid? It's just going to naturally happen.
Yeah, no, and naturally, yes, but that part, I
And
feel like
Stephanie's
we're getting like 10 steps ahead. That's the thing.
There's a kid involved. You have to kind of be
involved. Yes,
but you have to be that far ahead because this isn't like a thing where it's like Alex obviously is going to choose to be in Kelsey's life. That's and so it can't be like, okay, Stephanie, I'm going to go spend time with Kelsey, and like it always has to happen outside of the house. Or he can't ever. And then if the baby is over there, she's just kind of like, well, I'm being in the other room. Like it's like you're dealing with the kid. And the reality is that Alex's family is Stephanie, and it now includes Kelsey and a little bit of Joy because he has to arrange those things. So all parties have to be considered. And so, Stephanie is probably thinking like, shit, that makes me instant stepmom because I have to be. Remember, mind you, she was dating Chad, and look how she was with Thomas and Charlotte. Mm-hmm. They were just dating. This is your husband.
It's also the attitude too. So it's like even if you're keeping Kelsey, you're still getting to know her, and Alex is still getting to know her, and there's a little bit of separation there in this phase, but he obviously is going to be all in. You can't have him being dad of the year and being excited about having a daughter, and she's sitting there like, oh, you're like, it's the attitude that she brings to it too. She's not excited for him. She's not happy about this child being in their lives. Like that is, as much as sympathy as I feel for Stephanie that she went through with this, I was like, oh girl, not that you're saying I want a divorce, but that is what it's turning into when you have a partner who has a child and you're basically like, I'm not happy about this. I'm going to show you I'm not happy about this. I'm going to put on a brave face, but I'm kind of not going to also either. Like that is going to be a deal breaker soon enough. If it's not already, because Alex is, I still think, sympathetic to her, but this is going to blow up unless she gets on board. And it's sad to say that because she's gotten a rotten deal here in this instance too, and she's dealing with her own stuff, but it's a child. There's no pausing. There's no waiting. There's no you got to get on board real quick. And if you don't, your marriage is not going to last. It's just not.
This is a moment where I wish they would have kept Michael Rourke as Jeremy.
Mm-hmm.
This would have been so great for Stephanie to lean on Jeremy and Alex kind of lean towards Joy and mainly Kelsey, but then of course Joy.
Yeah.
And just to see this dynamic would have been interesting, I think. Yeah. So I don't know. I think it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah. It's a different when it's a baby. Like if Kelsey was, say, a 16-year-old, that's a little different. You can keep some sort of separation between like a step parent or the amount of time you spend with them and all that kind of stuff. But a newborn baby is just, you got to be all in. You can't be at arm's length with the baby.
Yeah. But then it really does. I'm sorry, it really does draw on the question of, your for better or for worse vows, because, life comes at you quick.
Yeah.
And I get that you didn't intend, for life to suddenly change like the next day.
Yeah.
But you do have to say when they say when you take those vows, you better mean it, because the for better for worse really does mean like our life. If our lives drastically change tomorrow, are you still gonna love me? Am I still gonna love you? Are we still gonna be there for each other? Yeah. You have to mean that.
Yeah.
And it's something attainable if everyone gets on the same page. And was it you, Araceli, who said it last week that they hope they look to like Kayla and Steve to really like help usher them into this situation? Like they have examples of this being done, being done in a positive way. So it's like,
oh yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Trip. I mean, the circumstances were definitely different. And Trip was an adult,
Yeah, no, yeah.
and they had Ava to
Yeah.
contend with, which was very much less than ideal. But I don't.
And even Alex's own history.
Yeah,
This is his history.
Yeah, I think she needs a beat. She needs a beat. Even though I think this trip to China, even though it was planned, I think it's her kicking Alex off. I think it was more of an excuse to kind of give herself a break more than it was a consideration for him. Hopefully she comes back with perspective and not more attitude.
Yeah. That was also just weird to kind of convince him not to go. It's like, how long you going for? A week?
Yeah.
Or
one of those, like, you can come with us but leave early, or if we're, if they're gonna stay that, because I could see them staying for a couple weeks, even though like that's a long trip. But
just go for the wedding and take the jet back.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I did like seeing I mean, it looks like Joy and Lonnie are
gonna be friendly. She needs
like
friends.
Mamas, the Mamas Club.
Yeah, Joy Joy is not the town pariah that everybody thinks she is. Okay, Chanel gives her attitude, but
Chanel don't need to be giving her no attitude.
I know it's kind of like a girl that was not even that. They
didn't even do nothing.
They didn't even do anything. It's barely a blip. Let's move on. Joy needs friends. She obviously has a mentor in Kate. She's got a friend in Philip. I had to giggle. Where it's just like Philip is like that annoying older brother that was not really a brother, but is kind of like always there on standby. Like, oh, you're here.
Oh, hey, Joy. Those facial expressions were on fleek this week. I was like, John Paul, you are giving us all the faces, honey.
Yeah. So look, Joy is allowed to have a life. She is allowed to have her own interests. She's allowed to have her own friends. She's not just here to be Kelsey's mom. She's gonna stay in Salem. She's gonna build her own life, and y'all need to chill about it.
Yeah.
Before we move from this section of the Joy part of it, was that some sort of like chem test with her and Theo? What was the point of that scene?
That
made no sense.
Yeah, well, the scene itself was weird, and then I think that there was like a one like push in that was just. I think that was just a mistake. I don't think that was meant to be anything. I think that was somebody thought it was meant to be something, and then didn't. I think it was supposed to pan from. Maybe it was supposed to pan from Tyler down to the bunny.
I think the camera messed up the scene. Yeah,
it just messed it up. So before anybody says were we supposed to read too much into that, I don't think so. It looked like it was like a little mistake. But yeah, it just looked like a chemistry test to me.
Yeah. So it's like, nothing came out of the scene. Like there was no, there was like, okay, what are they? All right, maybe they're setting up something here.
Yeah, I mean.
So we just gonna abandon his crush for Gabi now that she's single?
I mean,
so disjointed.
In so many ways, it doesn't work.
What?
Michael said you don't mind if they end it.
I wouldn't mind if they abandoned it. Like it was so disjointed to begin with.
It doesn't work for so many different reasons. It just doesn't work. And then add in the fact that she now believes that he is the one who outed her to Philip. I'm hoping that maybe that he comes off really indignant and kind of hurt that she would think that of him, and maybe that'll just put an end to that crush.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd be curious, like if they were to like explore something with Theo and Joy, like I could roll with it and see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not opposed to it. Yeah.
You mean Reagan from Body and Soul?
Reagan from Body and Soul. Every time they bring it up, I'm like, oh God, can we just let that rest, please?
And then we've got the next blended family with the return of Jack and his amends with Gwen.
Oh boy.
That knock came out of nowhere.
It came out of nowhere. I was not mad about it. I was actually like, okay, I like this Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Jack that they've been writing for a while was just not it. Just very, yeah. I like this Jack. I like that they, and it was kind of like, it made sense. He had some time away to think about it, and he's realized, I forgot, was it a conversation with someone that made him realize with Chad. Yeah. And he kind of, came to it somewhat on his own, and like there's room in his life for 2 daughters and whatever. So, and hopefully when Jennifer makes her return, she's a little more likable this time around too.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I have to ask, is this a Jack that is living in reality? Because, I mean, Jennifer's just got so much anger towards everyone, and Jack's been right there, right by her side. So I'm just thinking, like, is this just another false promise?
Well, I think it does depend on what kind of Jennifer we get this time around. Has Jennifer maybe come around to some things? Or is she still like staunch, don't like Kat, don't like Gwen? You both, we have to wait and see, I think. And
I'll believe it when I see it.
I love this scene. Actually, this is probably one of my favorite parts of the last week, was this reunion with these two. I also felt like Jack was also, he didn't explicitly say it, but was sort of hinting like, when he was saying Jennifer is the love of my life, but... So I felt like he's making maybe a little bit of a stand here by saying, even though Jennifer may hate you, or even if it takes her a while to warm back up to you, I still want to have a relationship. So I don't know if that's going to be a plot point for them moving forward, but it seemed to me like he was saying, I'm either going to keep Jennifer out of this, or Jennifer will come around when she comes around, but I'm still going to have a relationship with you. So that's at least what I got from it. But I'm also hoping that this integrates Gwen more with the Johnson side of the family. She's been so fragmented and enmeshed with the Demirs, which I think has been a good fit, but it's like she very much is a Johnson and has been more of a quote unquote Johnson than some of her cousins, who she doesn't get to interact with either. Like, why aren't her and Stephanie talking? Why aren't, we saw the stuff with JJ is complicated, but they, every once in a while, they give them a little bit of in to like have a sympathetic moment. But why isn't she close to Steve? Or like, I feel like they now that Gwen's back on the scene, she's got the Dimitri stuff worked out. She's a little bit of limbo with Xander here we'll talk about, but like, let's integrate her more with that side of her family, I think.
Yeah. Well, before we move from this, we had our very own Annette Thompson, who wanted to sound off on this situation. And here are her thoughts from Annette.
Hi, this is Annette from Iowa, and this is Sound Off. I want to talk about Jennifer next week is going to lose her crap when she finds out that Jack is reconciling with Gwen. And she's also going to see that Chad and Kat still have that chemistry going on. So look for the bad Jennifer that we all love to hate. All right, see ya. Thanks.
Thank you, Annette. I mean, she got a point.
Annette has no hope for Jennifer.
No, maybe she'll surprise us.
Jennifer's come around. We'll see when she comes next week. But I'm hoping maybe this is somewhat of a I don't want to call it a redemption arc, but
a little more nuanced.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was our top storylines.
That were your top storylines.
Those were your tappity tap storylines. And now we're going to move on. Before we move on, just some quick reminders. Hey, y'all, make sure you follow us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook and Dishin Days on Instagram, Twitter, X, and Threads. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And if you want to be an exclusive member on our exclusive members only page, make sure you join us for that. Also, take a listen to us on your favorite podcast station. We're on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And of course, make sure you go show some love to our former co-host and my chocolate twin, Mr. James Lott Jr., over at JLJ Media on YouTube, and where all JLJ Medias can be found. We are now entering our tidbits. Yes. And we're going to start with our first tidbit, which is some grief counseling. And I'm going to let you guys get into that because my nose has decided to run and I need to go blow it. So I'll be back.
All right. So this storyline is the meeting of the minds, or not meeting of the minds, shall we say, of Amy and Sarah and Holly and Ari on Sophia's presumed death.
Mm-hmm.
So Amy, the scene between Amy and Sarah were really strong.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that Amy had a point when she says, look, I see all these cards. I see all these conversations going on. And people have said different things. People have kept it, clean, said it was complicated. But the one person I don't see nothing nice from is Holly.
You need to kind of see it from Holly's perspective. Like, Holly is reasonable in, like, obviously she didn't want Sophia dead. She didn't want Sophia to do what she did to herself, allegedly did to herself, but at the same time, like, Holly has reason to in some way be glad that Sophia's not there to, try to steal her boyfriend, to try to drug her, to try to do all this stuff. Holly is, I feel like she's somewhat reasonable and she's being honest about how she feels about it. And she's like, Sophia was horrible to me. Like, Sophia drugged me. She did all this shit. But I'm supposed to be overwhelmed with sympathy. I don't know. But at the same time, I'm like, Holly, it wouldn't hurt you to fake it a little bit.
That's the question I have then, is that for the sake of her own self-preservation, should she at least fake a little bit of sympathy, or would that come across, or would that be in poor taste?
Or maybe she could just be more conflicted. Obviously they were friends at one point. And, Sophia has gone through a lot and has done a lot to her. So instead of being like, being like a mean girl, I could understand being more conflicted of like, I want to show sympathy for this loss, but like, I'm angry at the stuff that she did to me,
I think for me, I feel like Amy's just lashing out. I think for me, it's not very much sensical. I have a feeling if she walked on that pier and saw a card from Holly, she would have took it and ripped it up. Honestly, I think a lot of this is her just looking for someone to blame. So she's reaching, she's lashing out at Holly because who else is she going to blame? Kind of a thing. She isn't blaming herself. She's not, in my opinion, taking enough responsibility for setting her daughter on this course.
Oh, yeah.
I think she's completely ignoring the stuff Sophia's done to Holly. I think a more measured approach would have been, I'm not worried about Holly. Holly and Sophia have been going at it and at each other's throats, and my daughter's done horrible things to her. So I'm not going to worry about what she thinks. I'm going to focus on what these other people who have a little bit more nuanced relationships with her, like Ari, who did leave a card. I kind of feel like that's where you put your energy in finding someone who had a little bit more of a measured relationship with her. Even Tate, who seemed to be showing a good amount of sympathy.
Yeah.
The stuff with Holly is like, let it go. You don't. If she was there, you'd be lunging for her throat or wanting to smack her or yell at her. So like, I think it's performative. If Holly showed up, she's not going to say, thanks so much for coming. Thanks for showing Sophia sympathy. No, she's going to scream at her and yell, and she's just looking for someone to lash out.
Her more,
so it's hard for me to come down on Holly. I think I agree with you. I think she could be a little bit more conflicted or a little bit more measured in her approach when she talks to people. But I also think people are pushing her way too much. It's like, why are you engaging with her about this? You know where she stands. You know the horrible things. The fact that Sarah asked her to go to the memorial, I thought was completely out of line. I'm sorry. You don't ask me to go to her memorial. I think the conversation Sarah had with her the week before about the content she put online, I thought was warranted, and that made a lot of sense. But I think asking her to go to the memorial was completely out of line.
Yeah. Whereas
kudos to Sarah for throwing that scripture.
Right?
To Amy. I love when people do that. And I was sitting there, I was like, she's got a point, Miss Christian lady.
Mm-hmm.
Now tell me, Miss Jones, how does it feel?
Yeah.
All right.
I mean, the scenes were great. Yeah.
They were. They really were. All right, let's move on, shall we? To the hoes in town. Or the partner switches.
Okay, I mean, look, at the very least, Kristen and Xander are giving us something that Brady and Sarah will never, which is hot chemistry.
BDSM.
But do they always have to make Xander situations with Xander this very like dominatrix kind of, because I feel like that last scene that you know the scene that that Xander and Sarah had was like ooh. And then now this was kind of in the same vein, and and then the music, the whole shot of it all, I was like
I would wager
it was just kind of this whole thing just left field or to me at least. I don't know how it feels like, just like, wait, what? And to have it be like, because and Xander mentioned something like, oh, I see you making eyes at me, or I see how you're checking, basically I see you checking me out. And I'm thinking like,
I was like, when?
I know.
I'm like, is this then I got to the point, I'm like, oh, this is a dream? Is someone dreaming this? But then I'd be like, who is dreaming this? Like Xander and Kristen have always been like they work together. They pull schemes together. They deceive people. They've never, like, there's never been like sexual chemistry between them.
Yeah.
And so this just kind of, and to go from like 0 to 10 with it in like one episode, I was just like, this, I guess I don't mind it, but it's just like, I don't mind it, but at the same time, I don't understand it.
Yeah.
I think here comes writer Tony. I think it could have been something where like it wasn't even planned for either one of them either. And maybe they were talking, reminiscing or whatever in like a different like scenario other than being called to the Salem Inn to kill EJ. Like if it was like a drunken night, or like, you know, they ran into each other and they like, you know, were having drinks or whatever. And then usually, you know, you just have that moment where you're just like, you want to come up to the room? You know what I mean? Like then I would have been fine. But the scene that they filmed now, I think I would have needed like 3 hookups later. Like this one could have just been like a impulse, like go into the room. They did it, and it was one of those. Okay,
building blocks.
We did that.
Say.
And then like maybe another time they're like both in Horton Town Square. And like, you know, she's minding her business and she's just kind of looking over like, And then looks over at him and be like, I mean, that was fun. And then they do it again. And then the third time, then be like, whoosh, you know.
The actual whoosh sound effect.
And I mean, this
watching?
this is up there with Sierra and Ben, Sarah and Xander, and now we got Kristen and Xander.
Yeah.
Because Gwen and Xander have been hooking up, and they ain't had no scene like this.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
we
a
needed the
bizarre
buildings.
development.
Yeah, it's just the way in which it came about. I think is throwing us. We needed like the little building blocks steps before we got to the wee.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the Gwen factor is still making it a little icky.
Oh yeah, that part is just like, yeah. But then I couldn't stop laughing when Leo was commenting on Kristen's sex hair. I'm like, because that's what it looks like.
I'm like,
it looks like sex hair, but it also looks like cat's hair sometimes.
Oh yeah, it
kind of, yeah,
it does.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Chad and Belle's date?
It's too much. Good for them.
It sounded like two friends.
They had good bread.
They had Olive Garden bread.
No, they had Cheesecake Factory bread.
Oh, Cheesecake Factory bread. Yes, I always get. Yeah, I was confused.
They had the brown Cheesecake Factory bread. Someone went to Pavilions.
Yummy.
Yeah,
because it is there, and there is a Pavilions in Burbank. I feel like this should have came a long time ago when Billy was playing Chad and they had swiped right on each other and they had planned on. I mean, I feel like shortly after he got kidnapped.
But it started when Billy was.
Yeah, I mean,
on his way out.
I mean, we had talked about maybe giving this a shot in terms of because Connor's now playing it, and so we wanted to just see what the chemistry would look like first before we made a judgment on it. Having now seen it, I'm gonna go with meh. But add in the wrinkle of that confrontation or that awkward moment with wasn't confrontation with EJ and Kat, and I think I like the rectangle more than I like the duo.
Okay.
But I don't. The
implications of it. Yeah.
I don't need a rectangle. Keep it a triangle. I don't need Belle involved.
Fair.
Because I'm not rooting for Belle and Chad.
Fair. No. Yeah. No. Definitely fair. But
there's nothing to root for, though.
No.
You know
but I like even when they were sitting there, I was like, I don't see it. And then, but then when EJ and Kat came up, I was like, look at Chad, look at that Kat, look at Kat, look at that Chad, look at Chad, look at that EJ, look at EJ, look at that Chad. And if I was Belle, I'd be like, well, just pass the bread, honey. My name is Ben and I ain't in it. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, with that and then with Jennifer,
I still think that's such a stupid clause. You can't.
I literally have to take a deep breath, because I just for reasons. But yeah, you see, with all of the complications, that I'm more interested in that than I am.
I mean, it does have potential for mess, which is always good on a soap.
I do like the mess.
Mm-hmm. Sure. You know what else is a mess? Brady and Sarah.
It's not a mess.
They're not even interesting enough to have a mess.
Yeah, no. Yeah,
that's why it's a mess.
Well, no, it's not a mess. It's tomato soup. It has.
What did they even do this week?
I don't even eat tomato soup. Oh, Brady was nice and brought Victoria to the hospital because Sarah was missing Victoria, but I was also like, so how you just gonna walk up to the babysitter and be like, I'm taking Victoria? Like I would have been, if that was the babysitter, I would be like, who are you?
It was implied that that Brady and the babysitter knew Brady.
Yeah,
that's what kind of was implied.
But I would have been like, but this ain't your baby.
What's the babysitter's name? Janet.
Whoever it is, this ain't your baby.
I don't know. They gave the babysitter a name.
I mean, I'm assuming. I feel like it was just a big setup for next week because now Xander is living in the mansion. So I think that's what they were setting it up for. Like the fact that the tug of war with Victoria is maybe a thing now, but I don't. Yeah, it was very like, okay, like he got the babysitter to bring your daughter who you see every other day or something. Like, I don't know, it was just like a weird way for just to like have them have a scene together, that it was like, okay, I don't get, she's missing Victoria. Yeah, he's 3 blocks away, you know, she's 3 blocks away at Xander's place instead of in the house with her. So I don't know.
Good for them.
We all live in a small town with each other, and you see each other every other day.
The small town
that
they show, the small town that apparently is not a small town, it's a major metropolis, or then yeah.
In conclusion, EJ and Kat,
they need to step up the pace. Like, sorry, Araceli, I didn't mean to step on you there. They need to step up the pace with the whole what happened with the 2 of them in Italy thing. Like, I feel like we say this about something every week. Like, they've been teasing it for the better part of a year. They're starting to know. He's been talking about this hypnosis with Marlena for, I feel like,
she looks nervous about it
a while now. She looks nervous about it, so there's something there. Let's cue us in, at least. The characters don't have to know. Cue us into what happened, so we can see like, oh, if something happened, we know what happened, and then we see EJ slowly finding out about it.
No,
like,
but you know what?
Don't keep us in the dark the whole time.
I actually have a question about that, because this is a 2-part question, because last week we saw, I'm not sure if last week or the week before, that Rafe was very nervous about that. And in my mind, I'm like, what does Rafe have to be nervous about?
I think he just doesn't want them getting closer. So I think he thinks this will cement their relationship. That's what I got from Rafe.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it may be as simple of the fact that EJ knew, but doesn't know now, or knew or figured out that Kat was ISA.
He wouldn't have been able to, because he was in a coma. He was barely there. So there's, in my mind,
figured it out somehow. He could have figured it out somehow. They could have figured out that he figured it out, and I don't know. I don't know.
I think I'm not sure that there is. But in my mind, I don't feel there's anything for Rafe to be nervous about on EJ's part, in terms of information, finding out information, because I don't think there's any information that he necessarily was able to know in his state. The more pressing question that I think that we're hitting upon is Kat's nervousness, and I don't think that there's any necessarily information there there as well. I think it's more what EJ is actually hitting on is that maybe they developed feelings for each other. She developed feelings for him, and she's blocking it.
Yeah, I don't know where this is leading. I think they've been setting it up that he's been in a coma. So I don't know if they're trying to say he came out of the coma, they did something, and then he went back in the coma. I don't know. As far as we know, he was in a coma the whole time. And then she lied to him about Sammy, which I kind of get her not revealing that, because that reveals that she knew or she suspected him before. So that part makes sense of why she would lie about Sammy. But I don't know where they're going with the storyline. Like, like what, he woke up and they had a romantic night together and he went back into the coma. Like he's full of mess. And also they're like rewriting the stuff with Sammy at the end. We know we saw they alluded to what happened when he woke up. He was ornery, he was grumpy, he wasn't the same person, and Sammy left him. Like now they're like manufacturing this. What Kat was in the back.
I don't know what happened with Sammy.
I don't know what. Like you do know, it was a problem on the show when you first came to the show. So I don't know. I'm a little confused about what this whole thing is leading to.
But it does seem like they are kind of putting. Maybe I'm reading the wrong, but it does kind of seem like they're putting all of the elements in place finally to maybe ramp it up, because EJ is going to go through with the hypnosis. Chad is finally back in town. Jack and Jennifer are coming back. It does feel like pieces are coming together finally.
These pieces should have came together a long time ago when she recognized the photo of Sammy. Anyway, well, that was great. We'll see how it goes. All right. Well, Before we get into our segments, we're going to get into your segments, and we're going to start with Jen's highlights of the week.
Jennifer, go fan. My highlights of the week. First, we started with Gabi. She had quite the week. The scenes with Julie were really funny, especially now that her history. I love Gabi, but leave my Liam and Ari alone. I love my Ari. And then Philip finds out what she did, so yeah, she did not have a good week at all. And then EJ and Kat walk in on Chad and Belle. All I gotta say about that is we need to switch those partners up because I just don't like either of them together. Need Belle with EJ, of course, and Kat can have Chad. And then Kayla's Mary Beth's 40th anniversary. I was a little disappointed in the clips. Thought she deserved the whole episode. That's it. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, Jen. She said that shirt though. Did y'all see that shirt?
I don't think
y'all didn't notice the shirt.
Yeah.
Go fan. My highlight.
Look at Dan Fuser.
I was at. Oh, okay. I could have completely missed that.
It's like where did you even get the photo? I have questions. Well, anywho, we're now moving on to Debbie's thumbs up, thumbs down.
Thumbs down, Franklin, Tennessee. Thumbs up to Philip. You cut to the chase, buddy, and told everything. I'm glad you told Gabi, yeah, you're the widow. It was forged. But guess what? I know you were the one who destroyed Titan, so we done. But I love that he added, if you'd have told me up front, I might not be dumping you. Thumbs down to Xander. I don't even know who he is anymore. Like Kristen, they took his heart out, so who knows?
I loved it. Debbie's just like thumbs up and then thumbs down and then goodbye. Well, let's now round it off with Christian Me World's scorecard for days this week.
This week's scorecard. Xander got my respect when he refused Kristen's request to kill EJ, but then his scorecard plummeted from what's supposed to be an A to a D.
Damn.
D for dog and heat. Bro must have brought a year's supply of male enhancement pills because, Lord, his libido is like... I'm also going to give Theo a D. Although he was coming from a good place, he had no rights telling Abe about Paulina's involvement with Lexi. That was Paulina's decision to talk to Abe about it, not Theo. He is not that good at keeping secrets. Which brings me to Gabi. She gets a D2 because her secret's out, she lost Philip, she blames Theo for it, but she also knows Theo is crushing her on all because of Anna Demera. And she too gets a D. Just like Theo, her mouth running on motor oil needed to shut up. D for disappointed. Lexi gets a D for she channeling her inner Demera. Leo gets a D as a reminder that Javi dumped him. And Stephanie, even though she's coming from a good place leaving Alex behind, also gets a D because she's putting her relationship with him at a disadvantage, leaving him to hang with Kelsey. Look, I have no problem with Alex being a dad, but I have a problem with Joy, and she's gonna take advantage of that situation. Only people who are getting a good score are Gwen and Jack. They both get A. Jack for the advantage of restarting a relationship with his daughter, and Gwen because, y'all, she is accepted and she is loved. A for acceptance. Oh, and Jennifer gets a D because she's in the dark. Jack didn't tell her squat, and she's not even playing this week's scorecard. Sucks to be Jenny.
Oh,
Damn.
Did anyone get a C?
Nope. Everybody's
got
on the
plenty of
D.
though.
Plenty.
Plenty.
Plenty. All right, y'all. And now it's time for our segments, and we're going to start with mine, which is Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. All right, listen. I love when people go toe-to-toe with each other, and this made me giggle. Check this out.
If you feel a bit threatened. Threatened? I'm not. Not by you, anyway. Now, you better watch yourself. Now, I understand that you've been asleep for 15 years, but here, right now, here, 2026, we women, we are no longer in the business of tearing each other down.
Listen, I love when a little cat fight, but Paulina came in very nice and was like, hi, how are you? She said, oh no. And she said, now I didn't realize you've been asleep. I said, oh God, that's it. So For this little confrontation, NIkki Crawford and Jackie Harry, Lexi Carver, and Paulina Price Carver, you get Tony's official 3 Snaps Award. Oh, snap! And now it's time for
Caption That.
This week's Caption That photo comes courtesy of Xander and Sarah's shit-ass grin when she had to pop his elbow back into place. Elbow back into place. And this week's caption goes to Katie Wickland at Katie Wickland on Instagram with her caption as Sarah saying, "I don't care what Kristen says, we still have the sexiest love scene."
Oh.
And thank you for Paul Telfer for I think who was the first person that responded with his caption, "A sexually transmitted dislocated elbow." So thank you, Paul Telfer. Yeah, thank you.
All right, and that was
Caption That.
And now let's reminisce, shall we? Michael ready to go.
Taking you back to May 23rd, 1985. This was Beau and Hope's first official legal wedding in England. This was sort of a gift to them after they helped take down the evil villain, Emma Donovan. So yeah, this was their first actual legal wedding of Beau and Hope back May 23rd, 1985. They've had many, many more since then. Some legal, some not, but this was the first one. May 23rd, 1985.
Gets ridiculous after a while. You're like, was this the real wedding? Was this the legal wedding?
Yeah.
Was this to fool so-and-so, the drug dealer? To blah, 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 blah. Yeah.
Oh, and those
were the days.
And now it's time for
It's a Gift.
And this week's It's a Gift once again goes to Mr. Dan Furigal as E.G. Demira flat out scoffing and saying to Kristen's idea that she should have been in the running for Demira CEO.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, yeah. You don't, yeah. Some things just don't need a long-winded explanation. Just no.
No. Bye-bye. And that was
It's a Gift.
And now it's time for News and Gossip.
Casting information. He is actually real. We are getting the boyfriend is real. Days and daytime newcomer Michael Ocampo has landed the role of Gus, who is Javi Hernandez's new boyfriend, and Gus will make his appearance this coming Thursday. But yes, we are actually getting a full live in the flesh boyfriend for Javi. He's not made up like some of us thought he would be. So yeah. Welcome Michael to the show.
He's cute.
He is cute. I also would just like to point out that this is how you do an announcement where he's coming to the show and then he's coming to the show that week. And that you don't have to wait a whole year to see Javi's new boyfriend.
I should have known that was coming. Next.
Was.
Yes. Next up, as was fondly celebrated this past Friday on Days of Our Lives on the episode that aired on Friday. Happy 40th anniversary to Mary Beth Evans. Many of her co-stars paid a visit to the Day's social media room to sit down and share their congratulations and fond memories of working with Mary Beth on her 40-year journey at Days of Our Lives. You can check out the anniversary tribute to her on @Days Peacock, and everybody had something to say, so it was wonderful to treat. So happy anniversary to Mary Beth. And the other big anniversary comes courtesy of Miss Deidre Hall, who had her 50th celebration. So this was on set. We won't get to see the actual celebration for some time to come, but this was her on-set celebration of 50 years as Dr. Marlena Evans, which took place on June 21st, Concord Day, as well as many of her co-stars came to pay tribute, as well as video messages from Allison Sweeney, as well as old colleagues Eric Braden and Melody Thomas Scott from her YNR days. So congratulations on 50 years to Deidre Hall. And Sal Sauer sat down with another legend, Miss Susan Seaforth Hayes, for her series Women to Women, where she imparted some sage advice to women. Cultivate your kindness and mind, and you're better than you think you are. All just such true words from the legend herself. To check out the full sit down, follow at Sal Stowers and at Bill Susan Hayes on Instagram.
Yes. Next up, friend to show Emily O'Brien sat down with the @official One Up TV to talk about how she became the face of modern day motion capture in video games. And if you guys aren't familiar with Emily O'Brien's history outside of Days, that she is the video game girl, and she kind of explains her journey, how she got into it. She basically, as a young actress, answering a $100 ad in Craigslist, were turned into this TED Talk, and how the modern advances in CGI and motion capture will actually, because this was so long ago, was actually named the Emily Project, and it sort of gave her career. She basically, again, responded to a $100 ad in Craigslist. This is when they were starting motion capture and starting this portion of CGI for video games. They took a digital scan. You can see it below on that picture below, and basically used her face as like the prototype for video game characters and like Grand Theft Auto and a lot of the video games that Emily actually went on to voice in motion capture. So yeah, go check out the interview. It's really interesting. And if you didn't know this aspect of Emily's career, please look it up. She probably, if you're a video gamer, she probably has voiced, or she is the inspiration and the prototype for a lot of the characters that you see on your games today. So she talks about that and how that basically introduced her into that world and sort of gave her that side of her career. So go check that out. Really interesting. It's at @official_OneUpTV.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we have a lot of events coming up. So starting with Star Image, there's an upcoming intimate lunch with Kyle Louder in Montreal. This will be held on June 27th. There are only 10 seats available. So if you are looking to enter into that, if you're looking for tickets, go to Eventbrite and search Star Image Entertainment for that upcoming event.
And Starstruck has taken their Oktoberfest event that they have. They've actually renamed it to Halloween Soap Opera Party. This is the event that's happening the weekend of October 24th to 25th of this year in Kissimmee, Florida. And they've just announced that Galen Gehring has been added to the roster. So you can still go get tickets for that. And then they've also previewed a save the date for everyone for their soap event happening next year, April 10th to 11th in 2027 in New Jersey. And all tickets and info, you can go to starstruckfanevents.com.
And then we have some news from our very own Tony Moore. Tony Moore.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's my turn. Yes. So sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was like looking at other buttons. So ladies and gentlemen, I am excited to announce that the second season of my show, not mine, but I'm in it, Drag House Rules, has now premiered on Out TV. It premiered this past Thursday, May 21st. It stars me and also some well-known queens from RuPaul's Drag Race, including Sophia Christel, Trinity the Tuck, Selena S. Titties, Angeria Van Michaels, Heidi N Closet, Scarlett Envy, Bibi Zahara Benet, and Plain Jane, and legendary Queen Sherry Vine, along with Miss Jujubee. So this is kind of like Drag Race meets Big Brother. It is a scripted show about the making of a reality TV show and the chaos that ensues. So here is a quick little trailer of it.
I have great news. I'm working behind the scenes now. I'm a producer.
Producing what?
Drag House Rules.
Dear God.
Each week, a queen will go home until one of you is crowned the winner of Drag House Rules. Oh, shit.
Who is he?
Is there drugs in this?
The check will clear. The check will clear.
The check will clear.
Iced coffee is gay.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I'm learning so much from you guys. You people.
You can always come to me if you ever need to talk. I'm all about providing a safe space.
Whoa! You're a terrorist, Plain!
Girl,
please. Nobody cares about your feelings, Selena. Wow, I'm Selena. Nobody loves me. My boyfriend just broke up with me. I take DL loads just to feel something. Todd,
Believe this. I mean, I love to take DL loads. How does it feel to be the plus size queen in the competition?
Queen of the competition. Fuck you, bitch.
Yay, so be sure to check out Drag House Rules. You can watch it on outtv.com and OutTV channel on Apple TV, Amazon Prime, YouTube TV, and the Roku channel. Support. Check it out. It's fun. Yay.
Support DL loads.
Oh my gosh, the questions that people are going to ask as what that means. Anyway, if you want to know, message Michael Mattis. Ladies and gentlemen, here is what is coming up. Oh wait, I'm sorry. That has been news and gossip. Now let's see what's coming up on this week's episodes of Peacock's Days of Our Lives.
Next week on Days of Our Lives.
Mrs. Choi, I'm very sorry for your loss.
Your results are back from your biopsy. What are they? You might want to bring Johnny with you.
I want her prosecuted for manslaughter.
There's still a piece missing. That's a pawn.
Oh, I hope this is going to be like another journey. Now that pawn, that you got to go back to the chess that she got that she refused. So I hope that anyway. Well, y'all, that's been Dishin Days, everybody. This has been a very long episode of Dishin Days, and so we hope that you guys have enjoyed yourself. Thank you and a shout out to NIkki Crawford for joining us. If you did not catch the interview, go back and catch it. It was some really good stuff. So thank you, NIkki, for joining us. And thank you all for joining us on this Memorial Day weekend. We hope you have a safe and wonderful week. Enjoy that extra day off and have a hot dog and a hamburger for us. And don't forget to tune in to Dishin Days next Sunday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll see you then. Bye, everybody. We got to go because we got to go use the bathroom because we've been sitting here for 2 hours. Bye.